Hello. Welcome back to Notes Due at Midnight. I'm Casey Openshaw Haycock. I'm a doctor of occupational therapy, a business owner, a mom, and someone who used to think the hardest part of my job was getting my notes done before midnight. Turns out that was cute. Back then, I only had to worry about my notes. Now I get to wonder if everyone finished theirs, if payroll went through, if everyone's getting their evaluations written. Why is the internet down? Who's calling out for tomorrow? Why are there ants inside the office? Why is the AC not working? And why does every single emergency have to happen at 4:50 on Thursday afternoon? Nothing good ever happens after 4:50 on Thursday. When I named the podcast Notes Due at Midnight, I thought it was because every therapist or healthcare provider knows the feeling of staring at your computer late at night wondering why your evaluation somehow turned into a novel. Now I realize the notes really never go away. They just become everyone else's too. Before I jump into today's episode, I want to do something that I honestly don't do enough. I want to brag about my staff. People stop me all the time and say, "Look at what you've built. Look at what you've done." And while I appreciate that more than people realize, it usually results in me like giving them a blank stare and then probably thinking, wow, she thinks she's something. But really, that's not the case. It's because in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, I didn't. We did. There is absolutely no way that the Openshaw spot would exist in the manner that it does without the incredible people who work for me and have worked for me, who have believed in this crazy dream. These are therapists that show up, and my other staff too. They keep learning, they ask questions, they stay late when they need to, they call parents, they celebrate tiny victories that no one else would ever notice with these kids. It's the office staff that keep everything moving, and the people that laugh and cry with the parents and are there to support these children. And they genuinely care about them as if they were their own kids at times. That's why I built this company. Not me. I did not build this company. Us. Lately, I've been feeling a little weird about something. If you follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and now this podcast, you mostly hear and see me. And while I'm sure you guys all love to see me, I'm the one talking. I'm the one making these videos. I'm the one getting speaking arrangements, and I'm the one recording the podcast. And honestly, that has never been the goal. Because while sitting here talking to you guys into this microphone, there are incredible therapists quietly changing lives in treatment rooms every single day. My staff know they're welcome to join me in videos or podcasts if they want to. Personally, I would love that, but I never expect it because not everyone wants to be on camera. Being an incredible therapist and being comfortable making TikToks and recording podcasts are two completely different skill sets. Trust me, half the time, I don't even want to make TikToks. So if you've ever looked at your page and thought, wow, or my page and thought, wow, Casey does everything, I promise you, I'm just the loud one. The real magic happens because of the people behind the scenes. And that's actually what today's episode is about. Because somewhere between opening a clinic, hiring people, fixing printers, wondering when people are going to get their notes done, and trying to remember if I've somehow forgotten Theo's school concert, I accidentally became a leader. And nobody and nothing prepared me for that. One of my favorite things about this journey is realizing how connected our stories have become. One of the people that work for me is my best friend growing up, sister-in-law, and she actually introduced me to my husband. So thank you. But think about that. Some companies offer gym memberships. Mine apparently offered matchmaking. I don't know if that's an HR approved employee benefit, but I would say it has worked out fairly well. And then there's another one. I have another employee that I went to grad school with for a short period of time. And we sat in grad school talking about opening a pediatric therapy clinic in Down East Maine. We weren't sitting down writing a business plan. We were just dreaming and talking about it. What if someday we could build the kind of clinic we'd actually want to work in? Fast forward several years later, and now we're standing in this clinic together. She runs one clinic phenomenally and is doing a great job. And I would give her the whole thing if she would like. If you're listening, give me a call. But every once in a while, I stop long enough to think, we actually did it. And that still amazes me. And then there's my brother, Tyler. He's our biller, which means family dinner and family conversations sometimes are a little different than most people's. Some families argue about politics. Oh, wait, ours does too. Um, but we're at dinner talking about modifiers, denied claims, and whether a prior authorization went through, right? We don't do a lot of prior authorizations in pediatrics, but with private insurance, it's a whole thing. It's really glamorous to be in the family because Curtis also works for me, my husband. He really likes being the maintenance man. It's probably his favorite job. It's for him it's mostly lobstering is at the bottom and maintenance man for Casey is at the top. So, for everybody I didn't mention, I love you all. Thank you for all you do. Um yes, people ask me all the time what the hardest part of owning a business is. And without hesitation, I tell them it's leading people. And it's not because people are difficult, because people are human and so am I. And when I first started hiring people, I wanted everyone to like me. And then hard things started happening. I was like, oh, ooh. And then more hard things started happening. And the more we grew, the more hard it became. So then I started reading leadership books. If you know me at all, you know I am a fiend for personal development. I literally listen to personal development to work and from work and I always have an audiobook going about it. But you know the leadership books that say don't be friends with your employees, keep your distance, be the boss. So I tried. I tried this for about a year. I really did. I stopped sharing as much. I tried to act more serious. I got more stressed. I stopped seeing clients and I was just absolutely miserable. And then some things kind of happened and I started second guessing myself. I'd be like, should I laugh at that? Would another business owner say this? And I was just utterly exhausted because this wasn't me. And eventually I realized there isn't one right way to lead. There are probably thousands. The only one I know that doesn't work is pretending to be somebody that you're not. Now, don't get me wrong, boundaries matter. Absolutely. Sometimes I have to stop being Casey the friend and become Casey the boss. And sometimes I have to stop being Casey the big sister and become Casey talking to Tyler about billing. Sometimes I have to have uncomfortable conversations with people that I genuinely care about. And if you've ever been in leadership, you totally will relate to that. And these conversations never get easier. These are now the things that keep me up till midnight thinking about. I replay them in my head. I wonder if I could have said something differently. I lose sleep over them. I just overthink them a lot. And because, contrary to popular belief, business owners don't actually enjoy these conversations. At least I don't. And if you know me, you know something else. I am honest, sometimes painfully honest. I replay what I'm going to say in my head, and I will ask Curtis, should I say this? And he will look at me and say, maybe not exactly like that. And if you know him, and if you've been friends with him, you know he is also brutally honest. But he's also usually right. I hope he's not listening because he really likes when people say that he's always right. But I wish I were one of those people who thought about things for 10 minutes before speaking. Usually I'll think about what I'm going to say, what I'm going to say, what I'm going to say. And then in the moment, I'm like, and then I word vomit. And sometimes my mouth gets there before my brain has finished proofreading. And I'm working on it. I have unmedicated ADHD. So that's probably a lot to do with it. We'll get into that in another episode. And I'm still going to tell you how Curtis and I met. I'm easing into it. But I never want the people who work for me to wonder where they stand. And if you think you're doing an incredible job, and I do too, I'll tell you, right? If I think something needs to improve, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to help. Not because I enjoy difficult conversations, because I respect people enough to be honest with them. I'd rather, now that I've done this a lot, have one uncomfortable conversation than let 6 months pass and me being like, and let you also spend 6 months guessing what the problem is. One of the hardest lessons I've learned is that you cannot care more than someone else does. And this hurt because for years I wanted everyone that works for me to love the place exactly the way I do. And then one day I realized that of course they don't. This isn't their dream. It's mine. My job isn't to make everyone care like I do. Job is to create a place where people feel supported, where they feel respected, and where they can continue to grow, where they enjoy coming to work and when they know they're making a difference. And when I look around today, I honestly think that we have built that. Not because I'm some incredible leader, it's because I'm surrounded by incredible people. So, to my team, I thank you so much. Thank you for believing in this mission. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for continuing to learn. And thank you for making me laugh. And thank you for reminding me every single day that this company has never been about one person. It's always been about all of us. And if you're a leader and if everything falls on your shoulders to problem solve and do, just know that I support you and I get it. It can be a lot. I also have learned that there's no job as a business owner that's beneath me. I have done it all. And I think that's one thing that people don't realize when they look at somebody that's owned a business. They think that they've, you know, just had all the help. And I've been the ones at times fixing sinks. I've installed floors. I've painted. I've fixed copiers. I've connected computers to printers. I've, done IT. I've done billing. I've done scheduling. You have to kind of be a jack of all trades. So if you're listening today and you're leading something, a business, a classroom, a team, or maybe just trying to be a better person or trying to become a better version of yourself, stop trying to lead like everyone else does. Lead like you. Be authentic. Be honest. Celebrate your people. Admit when you're wrong. Keep learning. Keep showing up. And if you're anything like me, maybe pause for 3 seconds before saying the brutally honest thing that just popped into your head. I'm still working on that. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. And until next time, remember, the notes may be due at midnight, but the people are always more important than the paperwork. I'll see you next week.